Hirstius here with Get Hirstified. I have a jam-packed show for you tonight. I've got Jerry Wayne. If you don't know who Jerry Wayne is, where you been hiding? He's the guy that stood up to Biden when he came to the plant. Okay, he's a union fella. So Biden comes by, Jerry calls him out. Biden flips the lid on him. Basically asks him, you want to go outside? And of course, Jerry's probably like, yeah, sure, okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to have him on, and we're going to talk about what happened during that little fiasco with Biden and what he's doing now to help the union workers have a voice. True patriot right here, true patriot. So stay tuned for that interview. After that, I'm going to go over, I guess, some local drama that we had with, we had a boat parade this past weekend, actually, yesterday. Labor Day. That's why I'm a little hoarse, because I was like, screaming, what, Trump 2020, like the whole day. So anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about the drama that we had with that, and I'm going to show you the difference between what liberals do. Bam. Michelle Hirstius here with Get Hirstified, and I am so excited because when I saw this video of Biden trying to be all big boy and tough guy with a union guy of all people talking about guns, I'm able to talk to him right now. And his name is Jerry Wayne. We just kind of had like a little light conversation before this, and I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Jerry, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, a whole bunch of nothing. I'm very glad that you had me on the show. I appreciate your kind gesture to have me on here.
Oh no, look, my honor. I'm super excited. So I just want to, okay, so first off, how this all started, like what prompted you to ask Basement Boy Biden about guns? Like what, I mean, you were lucky. He was coming around and you grabbed him, you took the opportunity. What made you do that?
I was born in America. That's what made me do it. That's my responsibility as an American citizen, is to ask my political representatives what they plan on doing with my rights.
Right.
So yeah, they I didn't even know he was coming in that day. I not until the day of. I came into work and they're like, hey, Joe Biden's coming. I was like, oh well, I better get a question ready just in case I can ask him something, because it's not an opportunity a lot of Americans get, which is very bad. We should have a lot more opportunities to do that. We have to sit back and wait for these people that are in media already asking questions for the American people when they're already making a lot more money than we are. They don't really know what the vast populace feels when they're asking questions that have nothing to do with what we actually want to know.
Right. And you are 100% correct. And I think the media gets in this, black hole, kind of like we were talking about before about, politicians getting in this black hole, and they don't ask those questions. No one in the media asked the questions that you did, and tell me, like, I guess, how did that go? Like, just give me a little, brief synopsis. Everybody's seen the video, because, it went viral. Like, how many views did you get? Like, in the millions?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I was #1 trending in the world for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, over coronavirus at that time as well. So that's my feather in my cap.
Yeah.
I to be honest with you, when I did it, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I was just working every day, and I was just like, hey, I'm going to ask him a question. I wasn't trying to make it into this big political world or anything.
Right.
I just had something I wanted to get answered. So I was working with this apprentice, big guy, like 6'4", like this big dude. I was like, hey man, I want to ask this guy a question. Get me to the front of the line. And he was like, oh yeah, no problem, boss. He made sure I got to the front there, and Joe Biden came in and he started making his rounds, like the political appearance. That's what it's all about. I'm going to shake hands with union guys. And you know what? A lot of the union guys, we work a lot of hours. and we don't get to be very politically involved. And a lot of union guys rely on the representatives to tell them which way we should vote.
Yep.
And we had Joe Biden in there, and what they did, they came in and started just handing T-shirts out. Half the people don't know a single stance on what Joe Biden wants to do. They see a celebrity and they go, hey, I want to be involved in this picture. So it's not that they really stand for them. They're just like, oh, well, this is my chance to do something fun. Yeah, photo op. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So that's what Joe Biden was doing, this big photo op, and he finally made it to me. Went to shake my hand, and I just started on with a question. It was more of a longer question. I got him to where he had to actually. I kind of sucked him into this, not on purpose or anything, but like I started a dialogue prior to the question, because I thought that it was very important. I want to be respectful, and I'd tell him who I was. I told him I was a millwright, union in good standing, blah, blah, blah. And then I went on with the question. And when I think about halfway through, he understood where this question was going, but he was too far in and he couldn't pull back at that time, because that's a bad publicity.
Yeah,
and then he ended up finishing it.
Yeah, you called him out. He's probably not used to that.
Not at all. Like, he's used to these softball questions all the time that he wants to get from everybody else, and that he already has the answer for. But that's what these politicians need. They need someone to come out there that give them the questions of the real American people. Even for the debates, why don't we have American citizens asking these questions?
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. And they say, oh, we've taken questions from this and da-da-da-da. BS. Because the questions that are on there, I don't care about that. Like what you asked. Okay, so he wound up cursing you out, basically, and he was acting all, tough guy. I'm surprised he didn't say, let's go behind the bleachers or let's do a push-up contest. What's that all about? Push-up contest,
I think he more or less wanted to challenge me to a fight. He asked me to go outside. So I don't know what we're doing out there. But I don't know if you saw my NRA video or not, but I mentioned that in my NRA video. About how, like, because, like, I'm like, what do you want to go outside? You don't want to go smell all the freedom? Because that's the only thing I want to do out there, Yeah. And you might as well smell it while we have it right now, because there's a chance that we could be losing this election.
Big time. And, what I like is you really are representing the union guys right now, because it's the same thing with these politicians. Some of these union guys, they're just worried about getting to the next position, the higher position in the union, and do this. They don't want to ruffle any feathers, and we've always voted Democrat and this and that. And like you said, you guys down here, I mean, you're very knowledgeable. I mean, we were talking before the show, and I mean, you know a lot, but what percentage of you are really union workers that know all this, and educate themselves? So like you said, these higher up union guys are representing y'all, and I don't think that's fair. And I'm so excited that you are out there speaking for them. So what are you hearing from the union guys? And I'm doing this because you're here instead of the one or two up here,
Well, that's just it. Well, first of all, the union guys are really very much coming towards my point of view. And when this first happened, I got a lot of hate around the guys around me, because they're like, hey, vote blue no matter who. You can't be making our presidential elect, look bad. And when it comes down to it is that we're working a lot, and not a lot of people can be politically involved. So what has come into fruition now is that they heard what I asked. They found that it to be important, and a lot of people have rallied with me now, because we are a union, and a lot of people see eye to eye with me when it comes to our constitutional rights. And we were all Americans before we were a union, and we're not willing to give up our American for our union, because if we do that, we're not going to have our union to fall back on at all. And we're much stronger than, see, let me explain this. Like, you say that there are union representatives. That's what they call us, right? They're representing us. They're actually not. And that's why I'm out here speaking out about it. They're not actually representing the man. This is how we figure out how to vote for each election. Okay. Now, mind you, times have changed now because we have technological devices. I'll touch on that in a minute. But they send you out a letter. Hey, the union's pulling for Joe Biden, or they'll call you. Hey, we're pulling for Joe Biden. I never got a letter in the mail asking me, hey, who should we campaign for? Who should we endorse? They're not asking us. They're telling us. That's not a representative. And that's happening all over the country with a lot of different trades. I'm a millwright by trade out of local 1102 Detroit. And I'm very proud to be that as well. But what's happening now is that for years now, the unions are getting a bad name. People aren't liking the unions. Why? Because we're not actually being represented, and we're not actually doing what we should be doing, and that's pushing the workforce of America. We are the pinnacle of the workforce. You know, we need to be pushing for more, and then the people will follow behind us. Think of it. We have Labor Day, we have the weekends, we have overtime. All that's from the unions. Yet now we're in our comfort zone, and we're not pushing for anything more. We're being walked all over, while our union representatives are letting that happen. So that's what I'm bringing to the table, is I'm speaking up for a lot. Actually, the vast majority of unions, union members, at least from what I've seen. When I'm at work, there's definitely over 80% of people that feel the exact same way I do, but yet we're not being represented. Yeah, so I don't mean to go off on a tangent.
No, that's good. No, this is great. I mean, I've never been in a union. You know, I've heard about it. You know, my grandfather he actually wasn't a huge fan of the unions, and I think it's because of that. You know, I mean, he always voted Republican, kind of against of what, you know, the union always told him. So, yeah, I mean, I want to hear this, and that's very sad. That's very sad, and I think that goes straight the Democratic playbook. You know, like all these people on the, you know, the welfare system in the Black community. It's almost like, you know, like what Biden said, oh, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. What, you know, I mean, it's like, why? And I guess that would be, you know, he could say, well, you ain't a union man if you don't vote for me. So honestly, you know, what you're saying, I mean, how many of these union guys you think are going to go against what the norm is? You think they're going to vote Trump or?
I think that, well, the thing is, like, I can't say who they're going to vote for. That's not the thing. Right. I don't say who I'm going to vote for either. It's just because it's my right to keep that amongst myself. And although I am a union guy, and I'm also very much pro-Constitution, I feel as if that I know you didn't ask me this, but I'm touching on it anyway. I feel as if that my opinion of who I'm going to vote for. People ask me all the time, who are you going to vote for? Who are you going to vote for? That shouldn't make a difference. I'm not here to tell you who I'm going to vote for. I'm here to give you knowledge and inspire you to think for yourself and figure out who you want to vote for as an individual, because that's what it comes down to. What best helps you? Right. And what I'm trying to bring up is the fact that we actually have an election now that our rights are very much in jeopardy. And I can't remember the last election that we have had that our rights are literally in jeopardy right now. And you guys have to do your due diligence and figure out what we have to do. But yeah, I would say the vast majority of union members are diehard Americans. That's what we are. And even the ones that say, you know, vote blue no matter who, it's not their fault. I don't blame them, because they're working a lot of hours and they trust the union that they reside in. And it's the union representatives that keeps force feeding these things and shoving it down their throat about what if you're not voting this, then you shouldn't be part of the union. It's a bully tactic. And that's not what it is. They should be representing us because we are part of the union and we make up this union. And let's say, like, they come out and they say, hey, Trump is a union basher and he's going to get rid of the unions. Well, I guess we're not that strong to begin with, then, are we? Because I tell you what, if any politician thinks that they can come in here and dismantle the unions, then we're just not as strong as we thought we were. Because we don't need these politicians, these Democratic politicians, to come in here and tell us what we can and cannot do, or what we should or should not do, because the unions run this, not the politicians, and the power needs to come back to the people.
Yeah, man, that's a platform right there. I like it. That was awesome. Now, you specifically had talked to him about guns, and we know that, you know, you had even showed a video. I watched one of your videos where you showed that, you know, Biden's like, oh, you know, with Beto, you're my guy. We're going to take away guns and all, you know, all this other stuff. I mean, Beto calls them AR-16s. Biden called it what?
AR-14.
AR-14. I mean, these guys really, they're going to take away something and they don't even know what it is. You know, I mean, well, half the time Biden's like, oh, vote for me for Senate. You know, I mean, this guy,
right?
Like that.
He's all over the place.
He is. He's all over the place. But so, what other than, you know, obviously the whole gun thing, what other things are the union guys talking about that, they support that maybe, the Democrats don't, or even, the Republicans don't? I mean, what are they looking for?
Well, what unions want as a whole is that we want to work a lot more hours. We love working. We love building this country. We do a good job, and then that way we can put money into our retirement. We also love American-made goods, and I don't see that coming from the Democratic Party anytime soon either. Like, think of it like, again, I'm not here to be a Trump thumper or anything like that, but we gotta call it as we see it. And Donald Trump came in and he ended up talking in front of the executives, the big three, and said, if you guys do not bring back work to the United States, he's going to slap a massive tariff on their goods. And he did just that. And he actually brought back a lot of jobs into America. But we have this media outlet that's actually saying the exact opposite of what's actually happening. And that's where it falls into the responsibility of the individual American. We need to actually take some time out of our own day. And because this is the most basic responsibility an American has, and that's to vote. And if we don't do that, I think that we're not doing what many men and women have fought and actually died for, gave ultimate sacrifice that gives the American people a choice. We need to step out and do that. But to do that, we need to arm ourselves with knowledge. And then we now have these devices, laptops, phones, computers, tablets, that can actually plug us into this great spectrum, which is called the internet, and we can end up dissecting and getting the information of these politicians. We now, with social media, we can use social media to our advantage now. We can go on Twitter and dissect under a microscope our political representatives and figure out exactly who they are, what their agendas are, what they're saying on a regular basis, and hold them accountable at an individual level. We no longer have to do this red and blue thing. We can actually figure out who we're voting for in a timely manner as well. If you just take an entire Saturday, your day off work, and actually do just a day's worth of research, you will be an educated American citizen that actually can have a vote to actually better our economy and our society as a whole.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you 100%. And honestly, I'm your everyday Michelle, because I'm not a Joe, but I'm your everyday, Michelle, and I'm actually running for, and this might be something to think about. It's not really a political position, but it's called the RSCC, and it's Republican State Central Committee. And what we do is we actually vet Republican candidates that come to us, because you're saying all this, but there's also Republicans that what we call rhinos, Republican in name only. And I don't want that. We need strong conservatives and just the base of kind of like what you're talking about. And I know you're not promoting Trump, whatever, but that Trumpness as a whole, the made in America, not worried about the almighty dollar and selling your soul, just all worried about the next position. So I'm glad you're bringing up all this. I'm glad that you're representing the union. You talked about what our fathers and everything have fought for. My family is huge military as well. My great grandfather was in the Navy for 50 years. That's 50. Fought in World War I and World War II with all 6 of his sons. They all came back. You have family. If you want to talk about your was it your father, your grandfather?
Yeah, my grandfather. This is actually his ship he was on during World War II. He saw like every major battle in the Pacific except one on the USS New Jersey, and he just passed away back in April, and he with his wife, they were married for 77 years, and they passed within about 20 hours of each other, and it's actually quite a beautiful love story, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I was very, very honored to have known them, and especially at their age too. I'm 31, and they died in their mid 90s, 95 and 96, I believe.
Wow.
And 77 years of marriage is nothing to shake a stick at, right?
No.
And they had 10 kids, and I got to grow up. I got to grow up with a generation that is so far and distant away from my current generation, and I got to actually witness that and what that's like, and what their morals were and their standards of life. And it's definitely rubbed off on me. And at the very least, I am trying to pick up what my grandfather left off as being an American and standing up for what you believe in and fighting for it. So if I can do anything to make him proud, that's what I'm here to do. I'm trying to make my grandfather proud from looking down on me and standing up against communism.
Yeah, and I was literally just about to say, I'm sure he is so proud of you right now for what you're doing. I mean, he'd be behind you going, "Go, Jerry!" Do it.
Yeah, he got the gist of it after I talked to Mr. Joe Biden recently. He got to see that at least. So.
Did he? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
oh my
did.
gosh, what did he say about
He
that?
passed about 2.5 weeks after that. Nothing. It's like he was slipping away at that time, But definitely, I'm sure that he was proud of me. He's a born and raised Democrat. I think this is important to bring up, actually. Born and raised Democrat. Yeah. Democrat his entire life. And one of his last things that he said to me when we had a conversation is that there's a little bit of a cuss word in there, but I won't say it. But he goes, something, I'm paraphrasing here, but he goes something along like that Democratic Party is bad, crazy.
Right.
So the thing is that my grandfather, nearly 100 years old, that's how he saw. Think of it. He's seen this nation grow. Yeah. He's seen the ins and outs of the Democrats, Republicans, and all this stuff, and he was not a fan before he passed at all.
Wow.
So I think that says something.
Yes, that says a lot, and I think especially say your moderate Democrats are seeing how you brought up like communism and this socialism and Marxism. I mean, they going like cray, like they going, not only are they on the tip of the cliff, but I think they kind of went over, with all this. I mean, they're going so far left, there's no turning back. And I think a lot of your moderate Democrats, are seeing this and are like, whoa, what's happening here? And hopefully, they speak up about it. I wanted to discuss, now you watched the DNC and, what did you think about the whole DNC convention and Biden's speech and everything else?
Well, the DNC was actually exactly what I would expect. What we're seeing now is we're seeing a transfer in politics. And the way the politics have always been, whether you're on the right or the left, is that you come out and you say a bunch of generic information that ends up speaking to the big populace, the majority of the populace. Right. So that way people can reconcile with you and you can get their vote. And that's exactly what they did. But like Donald Trump is moving the spectrum here. He's actually speaking about things of how American people are feeling and actually diving deep into certain categories here. What Joe Biden did is that I haven't done my due diligence on this just yet, but I'm getting word that he actually ended up plagiarizing a lot of his speech. So I need to do my due diligence on that. So don't take my quote for that. I'm sure you know more about that than I do. But be that as it may, I did listen to his speech, and it's extremely generic. He says things about we're the light, and to keep out the dark, and I'm going to give hope, and we're going to fix things. You know what? All that sounds great, and that's just it. It just sounds great. What is the concrete plan? What are you going to be bringing up that's going to better us? Because the way we're seeing it right now is that every single Democrat lead city or state is worse off right now. People are not happy. And that's another reason why he came out recently. They say that he came out of his basement or whatever. I'm not here to demean the man. I show respect to everybody, no matter what their take is. But what we're doing this here is we're literally seeing this happen, and the media is portraying something completely opposite than what's actually happening from reality. And again, these devices are actually helping out the American people because we can now do our own due diligence and figure out exactly what's happening for ourselves in a semi-unfiltered manner, as long as you find the correct platforms. But yeah, as far as the speech itself for the DNC, all it was is just propaganda, and propaganda is nothing short of the art of just appealing to the masses. And this is exactly what it did. People want hope. People want to be free. People want a better United States, and that's what he said. But he has no concrete plan to get us there, and I think that right there is scary. When also the other people on the DNC, when he's not on there, the people that are a little bit lower end, the people don't really know, aren't as popular, they're speaking some very radical ideologies on there about overthrowing the government and implementing a new type of government, which they don't really have a concrete plan with that either. And this is very scary. The fact that our presidential candidate, Joe Biden, is not speaking against those people and they're actually speaking on the DNC is very, very terrifying. And a lot of people need to actually understand that this is happening, especially our union members. And we need to actually understand what's happening here in America and fight for our freedoms. And voting for Joe Biden, you are literally handing your freedoms away.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I 100% agree, on everything you're saying, and just recently, Kamala Harris had said, I call it Kamala Olives, but anyway, she had said to me, it was a threat. She was on the Stephen Colbert show and she was like, beware, this isn't going to stop and all this other stuff. I mean, what is your take on his vice president, nominee?
Yeah, so yeah, she's right. She's like, this isn't going to stop. So what she's doing is she's actually rewarding or encouraging the sense of people that are out there rioting in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? And I hear a lot of things about how they're mostly peaceful or not everybody's violent. But you know what? If you are a peaceful protester and you're going out and violence ensues, and you feel as if it is still just as important to stay on your narrative, to march for the sense that you originally came out there for as a peaceful protester,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't think it's more important to speak out against the violence that's happening around you, then that's something that I don't think that I can really stand with. So if you want to go out there and peaceful protest and say, there are injustices and all that stuff, that's fine. We can talk about that. And I can even get with you on actually bringing light to the situation, all that. But if people are being murdered in our streets, if people are being robbed, mugged, and taken advantage of, I cannot get on the side of you if you're not willing to stand on side of that with me first. Let's stand against the violence,
Right.
and then let's go ahead and have these peaceful protests. We can talk about that. But if we can't stop this violence now, we're going to lose America as a whole. And I can't say we're going to lose America as a whole because there's a lot of people that are itching at the bit to stop what's actually happening out there. And I pray to God that nothing of that dramatic of a sense ever comes and ever happens. Yeah, absolutely. And I want to do everything I can to stop that. But the thing is that we have I want to speak on this as well, because we're painting each other as a negative entity in the United States. The right's painting the left as a terrible group. The left's painting the right as a terrible group. And I think a lot of this has to do with social media and the mainstream media as well. What we need to do is understand is that there is a side that feels as if they are unheard. That's what's happening right now. They feel as if they have been saying things for a long time and they're unheard. Now, we can say that people are brainwashed or whatever, but we need to actually listen openly to each other, right and left, because at the very least, you're going to leave with more knowledge. If you're going to know thy enemy, then listen to thy enemy and actually figure them out. And you might end up learning something. Like, we are so spread apart right now. This isn't the America I wanted to grow up in, or I want my children to grow up, especially my future children to grow up in. And we need to actually start bringing these pieces together and seeing why we are whole rather than why we are separate. And I hope we're not too far past right now. I know there's a lot of people out there that comment on this, say, we're way too far gone and all that stuff, but I am not without hope. So, and if I can bring anything to the table, it's actually to bring peace and American freedoms for everybody and equality for all. That's what I'm here for. And I'm going to keep on pushing that no matter what.
Yeah, and I love it. I love what you're doing, with the union. And what I find funny is that as soon as something happens with, say, like a Trump supporter, like there's these protests and a guy runs through the line with his truck or something like that, the media and the Democrats are like, you got to denounce that, Trump, you got to denounce it. I haven't heard anybody say anything to any of the Democrats, any of the candidates, anything about denouncing this violence from Antifa, from BLM, from these little instigators, these little ninjas that are dressed up, in their little, black hoodies and everything. Kamala Harris, she's, like you said, it's like she's glorifying this, she's praising it, she's praising BLM, and which is a, Marxist, organization. And why are they not denouncing this? I mean, what are you union guys saying about, some of these protests, especially the violence?
Right. Well, the union guys that are actually on the job are very against the violence of what's happening here. We just want to go to work and that's it. We want to be left alone, pay our taxes and enjoy our family. That's all we want to do. And now we're seeing this political realm right now that is becoming, it's like you know, we pay all this money to have our senators and congressmen take care of this stuff so we can go to work and actually fund this. But now you're taking time out of our day. Look at me right now. I'm taking time out of my day.
Right.
I have to come out here and play dad against these adults that I was taught in school to look up to and to be like one day, you know, when I'm in grade school, junior high, high school. And now I come out here and I have to play dad with these guys and tell them that they are both not getting along and they have to get themselves in each corner and actually speak like adults and figure something out, because we're not going anywhere as a country right now. We have these individual politicians that are looking at nothing except making things better for themselves and not the American people. The American people don't want to have a civil war. The American people don't want violence in the streets. The American people want to just put their head, the majority of them, they want to put their head down, go to work, and try to live out their dreams. And that's another thing I want to speak on as well. There is no politicians that I see that are coming out here to push the American people to follow their dreams. And if we don't have people that are out here pushing the narrative to make American individuals the best person they possibly can, like, what is the point? You're not a visionary. Where are all the visionaries at? You know, we have a device in our hand now that you can go on the internet and learn from just about any expert in their respective fields for free. This is what I do all the time. I'm learning about all different types of stuff. I'm using my device to my advantage. Now, just so you know, like you say that, you know, I sound very educated or I know whatever, and I appreciate that. I didn't graduate high school.
Wow.
I didn't. But you know what? I took the initiative on myself to give myself an education that I felt of what is important in our world today.
Yeah.
So where are our leaders telling us, hey, you as American citizens, you can actually make something of yourself and be somebody. All you have to do is try. When in the history of mankind, really think about this, when in the history of mankind has it ever been easier to accomplish your dreams? Everybody dreams. Everybody wants something. We are free. You can go on LinkedIn and you can go ahead and find people of who you need to build your super team with and go out and build a company or buy a company or just do whatever you want. Yet people are stuck on social media. And I'm not saying social media is bad, but you know what? We can take our time, take your time back and work on yourself more than you are trying to fix the country or fix your job or whatever. Work on yourself and you can actually have some prosperous dreams here.
Yeah, no, and you're so right. And I feel, and just like you said, the politicians aren't saying that. And I've said this numerous times, you know, on my show and with my friends and everything else. I think that, and even Republican candidates that come in, because I've always been conservative. I've always been, you know, been Republican. But, you know, and I've said this before, if Trump even ran as a Democrat, which that doesn't make any sense, but even if he did, I still would have voted for him. Because I think that we finally have some, and we had that in Reagan as well. For the American people, they said it like it was. I mean, he's not obviously as charismatic as Ronald Reagan, you know, but that's okay as long as he gets the job done. But I think these guys and these gals, they may go in with best intentions, but after, say, you know, 8 to 10, 12 years, they get in this political black hole. And, you know, as you said earlier, they're more worried about, oh, I can't ruffle any feathers or tick this guy off because then I might not get his endorsement for this later. They're more worried about the almighty dollar, how I can pad my pockets. Because let me tell you, I know plenty politicians that are padding their pockets off of you guys, off of y'all's backs. And that's so wrong. And they would sell their souls for $1. I'd rather eat mac and cheese for the rest of my life. And I know I can sleep well at night. And you seem like you're the same way. We're worried about the American people. And I think we need more people like that to stand up to these politicians, ask the questions that you did, like you did with Biden. And let me tell you, you got me excited when I saw that video, because I was like, man, you're hitting it. And that's what we need.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, no, totally. So, but this is, and I don't know if you can get in this, but I'm gonna hit you with a whammy question. Is your stance right now, and you kind of, you know, you're ruffling feathers, but you really are, you know, you're ruffling feathers. Is this hurting you in any way with your job and some of the higher ups in the unions? And they're saying, oh, wait a minute, this guy's changing, the agenda here. Can
Yeah.
you talk about that? I mean, have you heard
Yeah, I
it?
can talk about that.
Okay.
And it's my union. They work for me.
Yeah.
I can talk about that. Yeah. So yeah, now again, the majority of the men are definitely for me, for sure.
But what about the higher up guys? I mean, what are
Yeah,
they?
that's what it comes down to, is that the higher ups, they're not very happy with me at all. The moment that this happened, I got a phone call. And the thing is, like, there's a lot of our representatives, they're not even voted in anymore. They're just appointed. So they're not, how are they really representing us if we're not actually voting everybody in? Now, don't get me wrong, we are some people that we do vote in. There are. But they're the same names over and over. Think about it. If we can't get involved in the politics in the United States, how are we going to get involved in politics in our own union? We're working all this time constantly, so it's just voting the same face, voting the same face, voting the same face. And that's all it is, because, you get, not only that, I'm not going to touch on that, but maybe that's for another day. But the representatives are not happy with me. And that's for sure. But why is that? Why are they not happy with me? You know what I asked Joe Biden? I asked him, how he planned on keeping us working, us union guys working. We're working a lot right now, 6-7 days a week, 8, 10, 12 hours a day. And when that's what we want, right? We want that. We want our pensions to be full, and we want to be able to go home and spend time with our families. And that's exactly what we're doing. This entire Trump administration, that's since they've been in, that's what we have been doing. So yeah, I want to ask Joe Biden how he is going to keep us working, and giving him a chance to answer that. Like, what is your plan? Because there's always room for improvement, but you didn't want to answer that. So the fact that I asked that, and yet the union wants to still back this man after I did that. Now they're supposed to be representing me. Right. Yet they want to still back him, and then they want to call me after and talk down to me on the phone like I did something bad without even asking me what my question was. Why is that? It seems like that they already have something, underlying agenda that's already in play.
Well,
so they're not representing us.
Right. Well, I'm sure they're getting paid. I mean,
possibly. I'm not going to speak anything.
No. This is totally me, my opinion. I mean,
okay.
I always say, and this is with anything, follow the money. And it's sad because I mean, you're right. I mean, why? What is it? Why are they still backing the Democrats when, I mean, obviously they see Trump is doing all this success. Well, we're not in their heads, so we can't, if I could read minds, I'd have a much bigger show,
Right. Well, why do we have to go in and vote these Democrats in? Like, we have to vote this Democratic Party in, or even at the state level, we have to vote in a certain Democrat,
really?
like a governor or a representative, right? That's what we do. And then you vote them in. But why? Why do we need politicians to do our bidding as a union?
Yeah. Wow.
If we want something done, we can make it done. If we want, if it's just up to a minor thing to a major thing, if the unions strike and we strike together, we can cripple the entire United States together.
Wow.
Why are we not working together on this? We can communicate with each other. Now, that's not saying now it's something I want to do. I don't want to cripple the United States.
No.
But it's about time that we stand up for the American people and actually make a difference here and work together as unions to push that narrative. We're the only ones. The middle class is on us. The responsibility of the middle class it lies solely on the unions and the union and the individuals that hold the representatives accountable. And it's time that we start standing up for that and making our representatives actually represent us.
Amen on that. And I know you're limited on time. I think we definitely went over what we scheduled, but that's good. I mean, I think we could talk forever,
for sure.
I mean, I'd love to have you back on, if you get the time, especially getting a little bit maybe closer to the race, and maybe you can tell me more about what, your buddies over at the union are talking about. Keep me posted on any, breaking news. But
they're even willing to cover me at work and stuff while I'm out here giving these interviews.
That's awesome.
They understand why I'm here and what type of message I'm delivering, and they got my back. So just so anybody else out there thinks like this, it's not just me. There are many, many, many of us out there that and we're not getting polled either. What's up with that?
Wow. I know. You know what? Yeah. What's up with the polls? Because I've never had anybody ask me a question, like, oh, well, what do you think about this?
I know it. It is crazy.
Well, again, Jerry, thank you so much for coming on. How can people well, not really get in touch with you, but follow you and hear the updates and stuff like that. I know you've got some social media stuff. Speaking of social media, you know?
Yeah, we got a whole thing we're pushing now, guys. And if you want to be involved with it, I'd really appreciate it. The more the merrier. On social media, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and the name is the same on all of them. It's Jerry Wayne, AR14, not 15, AR14. Just like how Joe Biden said it. So it's Jerry Wayne, AR14. Guys, come out there, give me a like, and get involved with this. You know, the more the merrier, because I feel as if the silent majority is not really getting a voice, and I'm trying to do everything I can to bring that into fruition, actually speak up for the regular American people, because that's all we want. We want to be able to go to work. We'll pay taxes, that's fine. I mean, we don't want taxes lowered, but we want to actually go to work and spend time with our families and be able to accomplish our dreams. So that's what I'm speaking on, and I think that's what most politicians should be speaking on, but they're not. So I appreciate all your support.
Yeah, no, totally. And, you know, like I said, we need, you know, your voice. You know, we're trying to also have what we call hashtag, you know, we are the rally, you know, for our president. Like I'm doing a Trump Tiller down here, boat parade. So, I mean, we have to get the word out. And like you said, it's not the politicians, because I don't see a lot of them stepping up to the plate and say anything. It's the people that need to do this. And it's people like you. And I commend you so much for doing what you're doing, because you're really sticking your head out right now, big time. And it's much appreciated. I know the American people appreciate it. I know I sure do. So everybody, again, it's John Wayne. Please follow him on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and it's John Wayne. Jerry Wayne. I'm so sorry. I'm thinking John Wayne, the
it's all right.
Guy. Jerry Wayne.
I'm Duke Jr.
Yeah, you go. Jerry Wayne, AR14. So follow him, guys. I love it. Thank you, Jerry, so much. I can't thank you enough for coming on. And hopefully I get to have you again, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. All right, segment number 2. Man, that was awesome. I'm so glad, Jerry, that you came on the show. I can't wait to have you again. That was fantastic. Really got some inside scoop. I just love true patriots. True patriots. It's so America. That's right. Okay. So you know how I love to rant. I think I was born to rant. Well, I'm going to rant. You know, we've been having these peaceful protests, you know, that Kamala Olives and Salon Cape and Nancy has been talking about. They're just so peaceful and they think they're so great. Well, this has been going on for a while now, Des. And we've been kind of having ours now. What I call patriotic rallies. Trump can't really have his rallies that much. I mean, he's only one man. I wish he could clone himself and we'd have a million of them, but it's not possible, okay? So, of course, they all, you know, he has a Trump rally and all of a sudden the whole spread of the Kung flu is all over the place, you know, because, you know, only the virus is so smart. It only knows to target Trump rallies and not protests. You know, it's the same thing that the virus is so smart. It doesn't target anybody in an airplane, shoulder to shoulder, but it's going to target people standing in line to vote. Don't even get me started, okay? All right. So this past weekend, I went to, well, you know what? Let me show you something. I'm going to show you the difference between what the Democrats stand for and what the Republicans stand for. And anybody that is on the cusp of democratism, whatever you want to call it, insanity, you might want to really look at what your party stands for and what is being shown. You know, the media is trying to give this hype, but if you really look at it, the media might actually be hurting you, okay? Because this is how they portray you guys And I'm going to show you how we're portrayed. Okay? Let me put on my trusty glasses because I can't see. All right. Now, I've been told that I need to get my stuff together because I'm too slow. My computer's too slow. So I'm going to share the screen. I'm trying to get it all organized for y'all so you can see what I'm doing. So here we go. Here's some people, some whiteys and maybe, a few other colored people, enjoying, who knows, a drink, maybe something to eat. And this is these peaceful protests that happen, BLM as peaceful protest. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Look, if you have complaints, then maybe y'all need to start a GoFundMe for a new computer. It's not my fault. Come on. Here we go.
Nobody's hurting us. We're shutting the party down. Nobody's gonna touch you. We're shutting your party down. Calm down. Calm down.
Yeah. Very peaceful. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah. On the property. Very peaceful. Great. All right, we got enough of that. Let's go to the next peaceful protest. Here we go, you Democratic Party. This is what you like. There you go. Raise the volume.
This is when the night took a turn. That's when several Molotov cocktails were thrown in the direction of the police line, falling short and hitting a protester whose feet caught on fire.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, look at that.
Fireworks were set, and this is when tear gas was deployed to disperse the crowd. Protesters broke off into smaller groups and eventually regrouped at the park again. Police moved them into the neighborhood near Ventura Elementary School and used even more tear gas.
That's how the Democrats rally together. Let's see. Here's another one. All right. Oh, look at this. No, this looks like Beirut. No, it's not Beirut, people. This is the United States of America. Yep. There you go. That's one for America. Yep. Go ahead. Keep voting Democrats in. This is what you want? This is what you want the future of the United States to be? Yeah, looks real peaceful to me. Oh, look at that. I don't know if there's any cursing on it. Look at this police chief. Well, guess what? You play stupid games, you get stupid. I'm sorry. This is what happens when you want to play ball.
I can't. You can't get your opportunity to get in, brother. You can't win. You can't get in, man. 3 minutes, bro. You got to get moving.
I know you want to.
Bro, you got to get moving. Get off the neck, bro.
Before this happened, before that happened. So, that's what the Democrats do. Now let's see how Republicans get together. This is what we do. Here we go. Oh, look at this. Huh. Look, all these buildings right here look still complete. Yeah, I don't see any flames or nothing going on here. Sorry, my computer's, trying to buffer here. Look, wow, look at all these people together. All of these boats. Isn't that awesome? Well, I'm trying to show you. But you see all these buildings right here? I don't see nothing on fire. Let's just go to the next one because this one's going to take forever. Again, sorry I have an old computer. Look at this. Do you see any boats on fire? Do you see the fireworks and people and the police? Nope, I don't see it. I see very peaceful. What I see patriots is what I see. This is what you call the America that we love and adore. And we're fighting up against destruction. That's that one. Let's check out this one. Here's more. This is how Republicans get together. The mega drag the interstate. Remember I had Tammy over on I don't see no cars on fire. I don't see them throwing bricks in windows. I don't see any of that. This is what patriots do. We get together. Look, first responders and our law enforcement. Man, I wish these videos would show. I'm so sorry, y'all. I mean, I can't help having an old computer. Look at this. Do you see anything on fire? You see anybody beating up anybody? Look, patriots, see all these people? Do you see any of them? Like, do you see any of them doing that? This right here is a line Republicans and Democrats get together. This is beautiful. Hey, look, there's Junior already. There, we love to see. This is patriotism. This is what America needs. All of us present, red, white, blue, not like little chants screaming to all these people together. Nothing on fire. Nothing having fun. Look, patriotism. That's what it's all about, people. That is what liberals and Republicans. And I would be embarrassed if I was in the Democratic Party right now. I would be so embarrassed because even the media is showing y'all in a horrible light. Even the media, the ones that are supposedly on your side, what they're doing is they're showing the chaos. Because you know what? They have nothing else to show with y'all. Nothing else. Because that's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. Is you're destroying cities. You're destroying people's lives. For what? For what? That's what the country you want? That's the America you want? Keep voting in the Democrats. Keep voting in anti-Americanism. Keep voting in losing all of your rights. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. So we had Oz yesterday, okay, Labor Day. I went to New Orleans, my buddy Mike, and my best friend Linda. It was her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Linda. So we went and we had, our Trump. We got this huge life-size mannequin of Trump. We dressed him up and we're on a boat. So we went to this NOLA boat and float in New Orleans, Louisiana. And it was fantastic. I'd probably say they probably had like 300 boats. That's what I'm thinking, okay? They had people lined up on the lakefront. Well, of course, LaToya the Destroyer decides that she wants to close the lakefront. She's going to close the lakefront so that nobody can gather around. I wonder why. Do you think it might be because there was a Trump boat parade that was going to be passing by? You think? I bet you any money. If it was a BLM protest or a BLM parade, she would say, line up, do whatever you need to do. That's what she would do. But not only that, so we're at a local establishment, okay? Everybody enjoying themselves. Nobody minding nobody's business. What happens? The popo comes, the police, or the levee board, whatever it is that came, okay? And they are listening to what they're supposed to do. You can't blame them. They're doing their job, okay? So they come in, and then all of a sudden, the whole bar area like disperses like little ants. Out, out, everybody's out. The owner gets on the loudspeaker and he says, look, if nobody gather up by the bar, we have to listen to the rules because, Louisiana, we can't dance. We're not allowed to dance. I feel like I'm in a movie Footloose or something. We got to social distance from everybody. You got to wear masks. Thank God that they serve food because if they were a bar, they'd be closed completely, okay? So she's telling police officers to go around and find people that aren't wearing masks because there was a couple of other establishments during the Labor Day weekend that had gatherings. And maybe not everybody was wearing a mask. Maybe everybody was just having fun and enjoying themselves like true Americans. Because again, we're America. We fought world wars. And we're freaking out about a cough. Really? So they come and they had to disperse everybody. The poor guy's like, man, if we don't wear a mask and social distance, I'm going to have to close up. So everybody's trying to buy it. A lot of people left, So who's the rat? Who's writing this out? I don't know. But I tell you this, I saw a couple of people that were standing around by the dock area filming, taking pictures. Let's just say they didn't look like Trump supporters. And I think that's where the problem lies. So Latoya the Destroyer, you know, the sharpest bulb in the batch, thinks that it's wise to send out, dispatch the police to worry about people wearing masks instead of the murders that are happening. Because yet again, what happened in New Orleans? People got killed. But people in masks, well, I mean, people without masks are the problem. All right. So we also have somebody that has come to my attention that is local. And I'm going to show you this. Keep in mind, as Trump supporters on a boat, minding our own business, enjoying a beautiful day on our boat, waving to some spectators that are waving American flags and Trump flags, doing what we're doing. And this gal, right here, let me show you. You can close this up. All right, so this lady right here, this name, she's a chairman at the Southern Yacht Club, which is right there by the lakefront. I'm gonna close that up, because remember that name. Because look at how nice she is to make a post about this. New Orleans Trump boat parade, one on Seawall, there's still time. Really? Well, I tried calling the Southern Yacht Club out here in New Orleans, Louisiana, to find out how they feel about their chairman and a person of the board says things like this. Well, I can tell you, a former chairman says it's a crying shame that politics can make lifelong mariners enjoy boats sinking. This is that doesn't care about it. Yeah, it's disgusting. It is. I agree with you. I think it's absolutely disgusting that you got, let's see, I can't close this. Why won't it let me close? All right, get out of the way. So let me stop sharing. So you got somebody that is on the board and a chairman at a Southern Yacht Club, who obviously is another boater, is wishing that other boaters die and capsize. Yeah, that's real nice. Thank Mamsies, or whatever you Mamsies, the Gamsies, whoever you are. I hope you feel real good. I hope you sleep well at night. And guess what? There was no fatalities. Unlike your peaceful protests that kill babies. Yeah, 7-year-olds. Should we wish more ill on you guys? No. You know what we say when we see deaths during a peaceful protest? We say our prayers. That's what we do, Memsies. That's what we do. We don't wish more harm on innocent people. Yeah, that's what we got. Talk about make you sick. Who does that? I'd be curious to know what the Southern Yacht Club says about somebody that says something like that. And she's posting it on social media. Obviously, she doesn't care who sees it. Because guess what? I did. And so did you. So, how about that? You like apples? I hope you like that apple. All right. So, just so you know, I'm having a Trumptilla September 12th. We would like you to come out, join us. It's going to start at the Grand Lagoon in Slidell, Louisiana. Be sure to share with your friends. If you know anybody maybe in the media or something, maybe we can actually get some real good media coverage on this, you know, because the media really isn't covering a lot of our rallies. Now, make sure when you do have your own rally or parade that you hashtag We Are the Rally. And that way, New Right Network, my buddies over there, can grab them, snatch them up, and plus it'll be easy for you too to find, you know, pictures. So if you do that right now, like do a search for hashtag We Are the Rally, you're gonna find pictures and videos of parades and rallies and everything that us as Americans are doing across the country. It's so cool. So, and what they're doing is they're grabbing and making videos and they're sending it across all their social media. So it's getting like over 1 million people seeing it, y'all. I think it's fantastic. What a great idea. So we're having September 12th, Trump Taylor Backs the Blue 2.0 Freedom Boat Parade. And I'll be doing like little live stuff, like I did do a live yesterday, Monday, on you know, the one that we had yesterday. So we had some good stuff. But well, I was like, I mean, the waves were crazy. I was blah, blah, blah. And then I had to sit on Trump. I had to like sit on this plywood thing, and his shoes were right there. So I was sitting on his shoes. Needless to say, I got some bruises. Yeah, I know. But that's okay. I'll take bruises for Trump. I didn't want him falling out of the boat. All right. So have you heard the latest? Have you heard the latest? Scooby-Doo has a new episode out, and it's the Nancy Salon Caper. This woman right here. What do you think? Do you really think that this salon lady, first of all, the poor woman's been closed. You got this coronavirus. The salons haven't been able to open. Again, I don't understand who can open, who can't open, what's okay, what's not okay. You can stand in line for this, but you can't stand in line for that. You can do this, but then you can't do that. You can go here, but you can't go there. It boggles my mind, okay? All I know is I'm not changing a darn thing that I'm doing. I walk in wherever I want to. And I think everybody needs to do that. Tell me, but hey, next time I walked in, which I can't stand going into Walmart. I haven't gone into Walmart in like over 5 years, but I went to Walmart because I heard that they had shrimp casting nets because I was going to go shrimp in my backyard. They were catching shrimp in my backyard, free food. Well, of course, by the time I get a shrimp net, all the shrimp are gone. Well, anyway, so I go into Walmart and the guy's like, he looks at me. You have a mask? I said, no. He goes, well, here's one. I said, no, thank you. And I just kept walking in. Now, keep in mind, we have a state mandate, okay? Which makes no sense at all. We have a state mandate that we can't wear masks from John Bell Edwards that had, okay, so we don't have any bars open. Again, we can't dance, we can't do all this other stuff, but guess what? He had a party where the bar came to him. Look, I could go on and on and on. Well, anyway, next time somebody asks me, oh, you don't have your mask on, you got your mask? And I'm going to be like, obviously you're not using your brain. Do you have your brain on you? Anyway. So Nancy goes to the salon, okay? This poor salon woman hasn't been open. And she was pretty ticked off because she got called by Nancy's people and she had to open specifically for Nancy. And she's like, if I'm going to be open for Nancy, why can't I be open for everybody? So Nancy, this is her response. So Nancy gets busted. She gets busted. So she's getting her hair did, okay? And she don't have a mask on. Oh, I'm just going there to get my hair washed. Okay, so you get your hair washed. Well, Nancy, guess what? She ain't washing your face. So you can wear a mask, Miss Mask Nazi. Mask Nazi Nancy, where was your mask? It wasn't on you, was it? Because you think that you Miss Elite with all your 21 flavors of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. So she's going and getting her hair done. So apparently you can't wear a mask when you're getting this part of your head touched in the water. You can wear a mask, Nancy. You decided not to. Because the Democrats, as usual, have this do as I say, not as I do mentality. So she gets busted. This is her response to it. This is her response to it. I tell you. Give me a second. Don't complain. I'm coming. Hold up. My mama says people are complaining and I'm too slow. Not my fault. Okay, here we go. Oh, what? What? Corruption? Corruption? Well, yeah, the Democrats are corrupt. See, even this says how corrupt the Democrats are. Well, anyway, so basically what she says is she's been set up. Oh, no. Nancy and her salon caper. So you got, so what do you think? What do you think happened? You think, they called. Oh, yeah, Ellen. Yeah. Ellen, you're the one that owns that salon right there down the street. Yeah, that Nancy comes to. Yeah, honey, I got a really good idea. Why don't you now? Because you a mind reader and all, and you know that you're gonna have Nancy calling you to open up the salon, and so, darling, when she comes in, you're the mind reader again, and you know that Nancy's gonna come in without a mask, okay? Because she's gonna do this all on her own. So this is what you do, Ellen. You make sure that your security cameras are on, which I know you have on all the time anyway, okay? So no special treatment for Nancy. Don't change nothing that you do. So keep everything on. And since all the salons are closed, darling, I want you to share that video of Nancy getting her hair washed with no mask on. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Give me a break. Like this salon owner had ESP and knew that Nancy was going to call her salon and that Nancy was going to walk in and not wear a mask and she's going to leave her cameras on that she leaves on all the time because, we got all these peaceful protests going around, leaving flowers and chocolates at business owners' doors. So she's got her security cameras on, and why not? She says, you know what? Why not? If Nancy can come in my joint without a mask, then anybody can. And what does Nancy do? Whatever. It's like, I don't even know how she talks like that. I've been set up. I've been set up. I've been set up. What's this with her weird? I've been set up. Set up? Whatever. She's so weird. What can you do with that hair anyway? She's got a helmet head anyway. I feel sorry for the poor salon owner that she had to try to fix that do she's got on her head anyway. Anyway, that's it. I think I'm done for the day. But yeah, so yeah. New Scooby-Doo thing. Who was behind the Nancy salon caper? Let's reveal the mask. Why, it was Nancy. Set herself up by setting up the appointment and going without a mask. Oh, Lord. Set up. And this is supposed to be the Speaker of the House. They're trying to make her president with the whole, if they don't have the votes in by January, whatever, she's going to wind up being the president of the United States, and she supposedly gets set up by a salon owner? Jeez, and Pete, and she's going to go up against Putin? Ah, Lord, she can't even go up against the salon owner. Oh. Anyway, all right. Be sure to check me out next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Get Hirstified show. Also, go to nrnplus.com and subscribe. We got some awesome shows. Check it out. And don't forget, ladies and gents, to MAGA every day.